Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Footy Banter and Insights. Today we'll be discussing a very interesting and relevant contextual topic. It's about Arsenal and it's about the recent injury to Martin Ødegaard. And although we have an Arsenal fan here with us, I think we'll start off with United's fan to give his view on the same. So Madan and Rahul, one of you take the lead on this.
Ødegaard, I think, sir, as previously discussed also in our videos, that is one profile which Arsenal don't have a proper backup. And that was the one injury which probably the Arsenal fans feared the most, especially with Sterling coming in. Probably they could manage without Saka, but I don't think so. They have a tempo setter like an Ødegaard. And even though it's right now coming in as it's just 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, but it's probably at the worst time for Arsenal with the North London derby coming up next and then Man City match. And with the way City have started, with the way Liverpool have started, you expect Liverpool probably to falter going ahead, but City are looking really good this season, especially with Rodri and Foden to come. I don't think so Arsenal can afford to drop too many points and get too far behind City. So, along with the Rice suspension, this could be a very, very tricky few games for Arsenal. And it could be a championship deciding injury if it turns out to be long.
So based on the information which has filtered through, he was seen on crutches after the midweek game. But luckily, the national team doctors came out and said that it seems to be a sprain rather than any sort of broken bone or any ligament issue. In general, such injuries can take a maximum of 3 weeks to kind of recover from. And if pushed, maybe a week or maybe maximum 10 days. Now, coincidentally, Arsenal's next 3 games are away. As you mentioned, the North London derby at Spurs, followed by Atlanta away, and then Man City away. And for the next game, they also do not have Declan Rice. So it is actually the most challenging game for them in this particular period. But in case they can get through this by any chance, like this will actually show how capable they are of winning the title, right?
Definitely. They can prove their mettle.
We are also forgetting they don't have Merino, like the new Mikel Merino. So essentially, they don't have the first 3 midfielders. But I think Sterling can do a good job now. Also because I feel Jorginho will come instead of Declan Rice. So Partey and Jorginho will be like a double pivot. And that will allow Sterling more freedom than possibly having a Rice and a Partey or a Rice and a Merino would have given Ødegaard. It changes the system a bit, but I think it's not as bad as it seems.
Sterling doesn't play the Ødegaard role.
No, he can't.
Yeah. No. I don't think Madan is saying that Sterling will play the Ødegaard role. I think he's saying the shape will change, which will give Sterling more freedom to attack the flanks.
Yeah, like Sterling, I think his best position is as a number 10.
No, I don't think Sterling plays the same role or number 10 role as Ødegaard. I think Sterling is more of a winger.
Yeah.
And I don't think he kind of will help fill up the void that Ødegaard needs. In fact, I feel that getting someone like Fabio Vieira could have been a mistake in this case because that was the backup that we had to Ødegaard, right? So, and of course, not of the same caliber as Ødegaard, but a decent backup. And the other player that kind of could have filled was Smith Rowe again, which we let him go as well. So I think that's where I felt at the start of the season that our transfer window deals were not very thought through properly by Edu or by Arteta, because letting these players go, all of them of the same profile, and then signing someone like Sterling who is kind of not exactly required, it doesn't fit the kind of football we play. I think is a big mistake by the management. Again, Declan Rice missing, as UV said, a massive miss, Marino injury as well. I think we are lacking that kind of depth in the middle of the park. And I think, again, apart from Man City and Tottenham, I think it's Atlanta away in Champions League, and probably if an injury like this, which can extend beyond 3 weeks as well sometimes, we are looking at PSG game as well. So I think a run of fixtures that were very, very crucial for our season. And I think these injuries are very, very unfortunate to come at this time.
I think there's only one fix, but it would be like creating a lot of chaos, which has been working well for Arsenal. is that Kai Havertz plays as a 10 and Gabriel Jesus goes in the striker position. I think I can see only that fix if they want to continue playing the same style of football. I read one more report which suggested that even Zinchenko can play in the midfield. He has been playing that for Ukraine. So that could be one possible solution, but I think that's less probable. Kai Havertz also, I'm not too sure because he's been doing well as a 9. So why change that for 2-3 games? Why to change that? Like, why to break that momentum when someone's already doing well in a position?
But I think that's the clear-cut solution, right? That's the only logical solution I feel as well.
Gabriel Jesus hasn't had any minutes of late. So would you really depend on him on scoring those goals?
But he played a few games in the preseason. And I feel that that's the kind of best score you can get out there, best 11 that you can get out there. Anything other than this, it's kind of might be a drop in the quality of football.
That will happen for sure. But
And Sterling played first time.
Not well.
no.
But a mix with Sterling and a Martinelli or a Trossard, basically. Left wing.
Sterling is only good at flanks when he's one-on-one with someone and he can be with his pace and then he can just, cross or something to the center position.
I would say Sterling and Saka on the flanks, and instead of Havertz leading the line, either Jesus or Martinelli leading the line, and you've got Havertz on the inside right, and actually I would actually have Trossard on the inside left, and just see how they can kind of gather that gameplay around it. And of course, Partey has to be deep and he has to secure the back four. And there are a lot of left field suggestions. You've got Zinchenko who can play that role. You've got Timber who's played that role at Ajax. There are a lot of mix and matches, but I think if they want to be defensively solid, then you play maybe Jorginho. And if you want to go out, attack and win the game and then, put a marker on the wall, then I think Trossard and Havertz in that half position can actually create a lot of damage.
Yes, I would like that to happen. If for us, they're but
and the thing is, Arsenal don't concede. That's the biggest thing.
The thing is, if you play Trossard and Havertz, right, it leaves you weak defensively. So what was happening with Partey and Declan Rice usually comes back and covers the defense. Trossard doesn't do that, right? So if you play him in that left half position, I think defensively we will kind of be significantly weaker.
I agree with the logic. The only thing which I had in mind was in the North London derby, emotions are going to be charged. It's actually going to be an end-to-end game. Like if you see the past games as well, it's usually not tactical. And I think Ange, the way he has organized Spurs is all action. So when there's an all-action game happening, it's basically the team which scores more goals, they're going to win the game. And Raya and Saliba and Gabriel, they have an excellent spine to that team, right? And if you put Partey in front of them, these guys are charged with ensuring that they concede less and then give the license to the attackers, go out and score 3 goals and help us win 3-1 or 3-2.
Correct. I think they will go with the mentality to attack, not defense like a Jorginho or someone coming in, or I don't think that will happen. I think they'll go on all-out attack and be confident on their remaining defenders and the goalkeeper to take care of the situation.
I think play Jorginho.
But Jorginho solved the problem.
You don't have any other option. You need someone like Jorginho to kind of control the pace of the game. That's something that Ødegaard does, right? He dictates the play. You need someone like Jorginho to do that. He will have to fit Jorginho somewhere in there to kind of make this work. Either what he will do is play Jorginho, and again, this might not be the correct solution, but he might just play Jorginho as the player right in front of the defense, move Partey in the Ødegaard road, get someone like Havertz on the left, and then play Jesus up front. With Trossard again on the wing or Martinelli on the wing and Saka on the other side. But you need someone like Jorginho, I feel, to kind of dictate the tempo of the game.
I think that's a big challenge and big test for Arteta. Like if he really proves to pass this test, for example, Guardiola last season played without De Bruyne for most of the season and still managed to win the league. Who possibly was the best player on the pitch? This season, Phil Foden hasn't played much. Rodri has played 0 minutes. Still, they have managed to win 4-4. So if Arteta wants to be considered to be at that top level of football, I think he has to, like winning against City, for example, when he will really throw his mark. I think if that can happen.
Is there any academy prospect that Arsenal can turn to, like the 15-year-old guy, Ethan Nwaneri, or anyone else?
He's a winger, I think.
Yeah, but again, too big, too young. Yeah, too young, and the profile of the game is too big. I think if this was like something like a Carling Cup or in an FA Cup or something, like you could have early rounds of FA Cup, you could have thought of playing.
From Nowhere, 17 years, right?
Yes. But
I think in such a game, very difficult to start someone who's not had any Premier League minutes, honestly. Yeah. But just looking at the best case and the worst case scenario, if you look at the sequence of events, Man City played Brentford on Saturday. Are we all expecting a win for Man City? Anyone, Madan, any...
Brentford has seen a decent record against Man City in the recent past.
So that's what I'm saying.
City to win, but there is like a glimmer of hope for me that City might drop points.
So literally 10 days, we could be 8 points behind City.
Either 8 points behind City, or the best case scenario is City drop points as per Manan against Brentford, and then Arsenal go to the Etihad and beat City, and then you guys are in front of them.
Brighton draw will hurt a lot if things don't go your way right now.
And that's a horrible mistake that referee made. Because see, again, if Declan Rice is there, the problem is not that difficult to solve, right? It's just that you don't have Declan Rice as well, you don't have Ødegaard as well, you don't have the new signing in Merino as well. So I think it's just the problem has been compounded by a lot of other factors as well.
Yeah. I was seeing some stats on Ødegaard. I think apart from what we see as fans, like if you go into detailing of his game, he has the maximum number of passes in the final third, maximum number of passes in the box. And I think these two metrics for Arsenal mean that you can't replace him with a Jorginho at all, or anyone else at that level. I think Havertz is the only figure who can kind of do that role a little bit, but he does not have the defensive capabilities that possibly Ødegaard brings to the table, right? He would be
Havertz is a decent defender. As per me, he has a very good work rate when he's playing in the
work rate, yes. But the difference is, like for example, when Havertz has played that role for Leverkusen or Chelsea in the past, he is not able to get the ball and then dictate the play the way a Ødegaard can. You can do some movements which are mirroring Ødegaard, but he can't do it consistently over a period of 90 minutes. And I think that difference will actually prove a lot. And the second is, Rice, being in that team, was actually playing two positions. He was playing as an 8 while going forward, and he was playing as a 6 while going on the reverse defending side. And no player in the league right now has that capability of doing that role. So I think that's where, in this specific game, Rodri also, I would say, is a specialist 6, right? Like, I think he's a specialist 6. He plays that role better than anyone else. But asking him to play both those roles is very difficult for anyone. And given both Ødegaard and Rice being out for this one, I think Arsenal need to think differently. If they just try to create, a safe approach, I think it may not work for them. They'll have to go and do something different to kind of challenge Spurs and tell them, we are doing something which you're not expecting us to do. And I think that can prove to be a difference. I don't know. This is my view. It can be either it can be an action-packed game and it can result in Arsenal win, or it can end up in a 2-0 loss as well. But yeah.
I think Arteta is too circumspect. Like, he is unlikely going to go the route of having Havertz and Trossard both play in midfield with Thomas. But so I guess Jorginho will definitely play instead of Rice. Then it depends how he sets up the team, because again, Havertz cannot really be the inside right or the inside left, how Ødegaard is. So I really feel they need to change the shape of the team a bit to accommodate everyone in their best roles.
But then they don't have the time to prepare for that new shape. They don't, it's just, players just coming back from the international break. I don't know. I mean, there are games that are back-to-back every three days. It's very difficult to kind of change the formation of the entire team in such a short duration. It's a difficult ask for Arteta. I think this is his first test of the season. Let's see how he does, and I think that will actually prove to everyone how much of a chance Arsenal has this season to win the title, right? Because 8 points behind City after in the next 10 days. After next 10 days, it will be a tough. If we have to come back and win the title from there.
These 2 weeks will be proving their mettle. These 2 weeks could decide whether Arsenal are ready or not.
Yes. Great. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you liked it. Share, subscribe, and do leave us comments as to what you think Arsenal should do and what you think Arteta should do to fix the current situation for the next few games. Thank you, and see you guys soon.